The genius behind this game, and it's also what makes it so addicting, is that it's a completely open map. You can build almost anywhere that you want, and you have 100 different solutions to how you're going to go about things once you've gotten settled in. Right? You can go for a town that is going to concentrate on mining. You can go for a town that concentrates on farming. There's a lot of different things going on with it. And I've started over my fair share of times. And just based on the things I have learned while starting over and things that other people have told me, I figured maybe we'll put together a little bit of a tutorial that kind of shows like a solid start to the game, a good way of getting set up properly. That's going to give you a good foundation for playing just anywhere, I guess, on the map. Now, as I'm recording this to do the tutorial, I'm also recording the start of our next series, which the main house rule for that series is going to be 1-day seasons. One thing that I feel that seasoned players run into is that once you start knowing kind of what you're doing and what you need to do in the game just to kind of progress it, if you run longer seasons, you just run out of things to do at about year 8, 9 or so. And then you sit there waiting for the kids in your village to grow up and for other things to do. There are no longer real missions to do. It's just kind of becomes a very slow, sluggish end game. So the hope is that if we run in 1 season days, we are going to, or we're not going to have the time to just do everything that we need to in every season, which should hopefully drag the game out. With all that said, let's get back into the tutorial. As you can see, we are picking berries, and berries are going to be very, very critical for the start of the game. There are a lot of different items that you can pick up, sticks and stones and all sorts of things, but you always pick them in sets of 1. There's 1 at a time. Maybe if you pull some bushes, you'll get a couple of sticks, but berries, you can get up to 5 in a pick. And they're generally just like these, concentrated in large berry patches. Which means if you find a berry patch, you can stay right there and you can get several hundred berries. They sell in any town at 1 silver each, which is a very, very, very quick way to get some money. Now, you may have also noticed that the first thing I did was to make a knife. The knife has no significance on anything that we are going to do. We're not going to be skinning any animals or fighting anything. But the pure fact of holding the knife in our right hand while we're picking berries will speed up the berry picking. It changes the animation, and your character only picks with 1 hand instead of 2, which makes it a lot faster to just clear all the bushes and get all the berries that you need. So we have gotten our knife, we are picking berries, and we are picking berries right in the area where you spawned in. We haven't even done the first quest. We are trying to get as many berries picked as we possibly can. And you do have 2 seasons for berries, which gives you a little bit of a chance to pick more. And if you're playing with longer than 1-day seasons, of course you have extra time to do all this. But you can pick berries in springtime when they are unripened, and you can pick them in the summer when they're ripened. It doesn't matter. They sell for the same amount of money. Now, once our pockets are full of berries, we're going to head straight down to Gustovia. We'll see Unigost, of course, get the starting quest, and we will sell the berries to him. In this case, I had roughly about 500 berries, which is a good start, giving us some silver going. The reason we are gathering all this silver and doing all this right now is that we're trying to buy up some important equipment. So save your money. Don't go buying things in the first town. We are going to be heading out on a little bit of an adventure. Our first stop is going to be Borovo on the other side of the lake. The only reason we stopped there is to start talking to the people around the campfire. Since you're out here, since you're doing this anyway, you might as well talk to the people that are sitting around the campfire, see if you can start working on them wanting to join your village at some point. And then we're gonna head up towards Bronica and Baronica. This route that we're taking around this way should keep you fairly safe from animals. There are some boars up here and some viscents, and just make sure you give them a wide berth and you should be fine. And all while we're going up through here, we're also going to pick berries. The goal is to reach Bronica, which is the second of the two B towns, and trade with their tailor. And you're gonna need about 1,200 or so silver by the time you get there. And you should be able to hit Bronica before nighttime, before the vendor goes to sleep. And this is the person right here that you want to talk to. You sell off any spare berries, anything to her. And what you want to buy is a pouch and a simple backpack. And as you see, that's going to run you 1,200 silver total. But once you have that and you put that on, your carrying capacity is going to go up from the starting 35 straight up to 56. And of course, that makes a huge difference in the start of the game. Now, since we spent the entire day picking berries and buying equipment and just moving about the map, we obviously don't have a house or anywhere to stay. And that's okay. Just put down a fireplace. You can sleep at a fireplace and it'll move you to the next day. If it changes seasons because you're playing at a shorter day season pattern, you will just spawn in the closest town to where you actually went to sleep. So it's not going to stop your progression or anything. Just sleep by fire and then continue what you're working on. What we are working on is making our way down to Lesnica. There is some critical equipment down there that we want to purchase. And with our new, much larger carrying capacity, we are going to be picking berries the whole way through. Again, there's a couple of places where you might see some viscents, possibly run into some boars, but just kind of try to stay clear from the bigger animals. You're not going to fight anything right now. We're just picking berries and moving along down the road. Since Lesnica is the last stop before we go and start actually building our own village, if you have decided that you're going to build a village somewhere far away from the water and far away from straw/reeds, this would also be a good opportunity to pick some reeds as you're passing by the water, just to save you that trip in the future running to get those kind of items for your houses. And after more fun-filled berry picking, we have arrived in Lesnica. There are two vendors here you want to see. You're going to want to see the blacksmith or workshop person. Sell off your, your berries, whatever other stuff you picked up that you don't need. And from this guy, we are going to buy a pickaxe. And across the way generally is his wife. She is the town hunter. And from her, you're going to want to buy a recurve bow. This is the only town in the game that sells the recurve bow, which is why we made our way over here. And the reason why we bought the pickaxe and then the recurve bow is to just see how much money we're going to have left when it's all said and done. Because the hunter does not sell the best arrows. The blacksmith or workshop guy does. He sells iron arrows, and just buy as many as you can. You're going to need these arrows, to survive in the wilderness. And if you don't have enough money, there are plenty of berry bushes around this town as well that you can pick and continue what we just been doing. Once we have visited Lesnica, we are now ready to take on the wilderness and build our own town. You should have much increased carrying capacity, which obviously is going to make your life a lot easier. You should also have a bow, which is the recurve bow, is the best bow in the game right now, with iron arrows. Most animals are going to be a one shot. Some of the bigger ones might take 3 shots, but nothing is a threat anymore, including, as you can see, the bears over in this area where I have decided to build. You should also have a pickaxe, and that pickaxe is going to become important for the growth of your town. Like I said in the beginning, one of the beauties of this game is that you can build anywhere. You can build anywhere on the map as long as you're far enough away from a neighboring town, and you can really make it as challenging or as easy on you as you want. For the most solid start, though, I would suggest getting close to a cave. The caves are where you can find iron ore. They also have stone and salt. And both the stone and, in a little while, the iron ore are going to become very important, both for your town's growth and for your economy. For this particular village, I have chosen to set up down by Hornica, on the east side of the lake by Hornica. There's a lot of flat space. You obviously have water, and to your south there is a mine or a cave up in the mountains that you can also take advantage of. Now, this area is going to have bears, because bears do spawn around the mines. However, you should also have a recurve bow and iron arrows, making the bear a pretty easy kill if it even gets close to you. The next thing we're going to do, and this is something I have been guilty of as well, instead of waiting until we can build storage buildings and food storage buildings and whatnot, our next building is going to be a second house. And a lot of people, and like I said, me included, will say, well, this is not going to work, because getting people in, how are they going to get food? How are they going to get firewood? They will complain, the morale will drop. It's out. Those buildings are nice to have, but they are definitely not necessary, not in the beginning of the game. Every house has a chest inside the house for storage, and with a little bit of extra work, you, as just the mayor, you can run over there and you can put firewood and you can put cooked food right into that chest, and that's going to suffice for the people. Same thing works for your wife. If you get a wife and you get married, just put it in the chest in your own house, and that is going to be enough for her as well. The beauty with this is now we can head back to those towns that we hit on that first run through. We should have talked to people out there. We should have had some people that were already starting to become interested in joining us. And we might even be able to recruit some on our second pass through. They can move into this house, and then we can concentrate on building some of the other critical buildings. A woodshed and a hunting lodge. Once you have people in those, your food is taken care of and your lumber is taken care of. And those, again, are the two critical things, right? You need the meat that you can cook, and you need logs that you can turn into firewood. And if you can do that, you can stick that in their house and they will be perfectly fine. In order to build the hunting lodge, you need a little bit of hunting experience, which just comes from you hunting. But you have a recurve bow, you have iron arrows, just go out into any area. There's nothing out there that is going to be a threat to you like it used to be when you try to go out with a sharpened wood stick. Do the hunting. It'll bring you some material, bring you other things, you know, cook the meat, get the experience from that. As far as getting the woodshed, a woodshed is based off of you know, gathering of resources, right? Since that's what the woodshed is. And normally or traditionally, when you play the game, you will get that from chopping down trees and you know, continuously getting that. However, we got a pickaxe. We have a pickaxe that we have purchased, and we have tried to set up as close to a cave or a mine as we possibly can. So we're using our pickaxe. We're going to go in. We're going to do this. This is boring work, of course, sure, but it'll get the skill up, and it will allow you to build that woodshed. You can also gather all this stuff that is in here, because iron, like I said, we're going to need later. Stone is fantastic to change your houses and build them out of stone instead of sticks or of wood. And ultimately, you're going to want all your buildings made out of stone. If there for some reason are things that you just don't want to hold on to from this, like maybe the salt, if you have no intentions of doing anything with the salt, don't pick it up from the ground. Just let it stay on the ground once you've done the work. When the seasons change, anything that you have created like that is on the ground that you haven't touched will just despawn and it will be gone from the game. And there you have it. Your village should be started. You should be set up for success. You should already have some people in that are working. Obviously, they are then going to gather some of those resources that you need to continue to expand the town. And now you can work on whatever you want to. For me, 2, 3 houses other than yours is fine to continue just giving them food and whatnot. The thing to keep in mind when it comes to putting food in their chest versus a food storage building is that the food in the food storage building will not expire, will not rot as fast as it will if it's sitting in the chest on somebody's house. However, in the beginning, that's not really going to be an issue, and you can actually use that rot that you will get, because you will get some, to make fertilizer to push your farms, and you don't have to spend the money on that. Of course, you now know that if you need the money to buy fertilizer or whatnot, and go out and pick some berries in the spring and in the summertime. It's still the fastest way to make money before you have any type of industry set up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video gave you some ideas, or maybe even you learned something new that will help you in starting your villages in Medieval Dynasty. We are going to continue this as a playthrough and try to build a village with 1 season days and see what we can get out of it. Now, we are located close to a mine, and it's very tempting to use the mine for my economy and just make all that money that you can off of that. But I'm thinking about trying something different. We do have some water here, and fishing is not something that I do a lot. And I might look at the fishing, and I might look at some sort of animal-based economy. We'll see where we go with it. If you have any interest in watching that and you're not already a subscriber, don't forget to hit that sub button. You will see when that series goes live. And again, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much. We will see you on the next one. Oh, it's just a guy hanging out. That's not... This is more boring than I thought it would be.
Anchor! I can't! Oh my god! I was typing!